Alright. Here we go today. Who are we gonna have join us this morning? Our first person, Mr. Dave Jones, coming in. Here we go.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Just me and you today?
I guess at the moment, we'll give it a couple minutes here, see what's going on. It's like people have a hard time getting up early. All of a sudden.
Are you Eastern time?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Not that early.
No, I was up at 6. So,
Wow.
my day's already a few hours in. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's good.
Got this big old mug right here that helps.
Fight crime.
There you go. There you go. Oh, all right. Uh-oh, Miss Priscilla, you all right?
Yeah, she's at her day job, I think.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Hello, Peter Gay. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, I guess that's better than not good.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well. Okay, well, we got one more minute here. We'll see who else is going to jump in and participate today. Hopefully everybody else is out running their business like a business, getting stuff done, right?
So
Exactly.
Oh, goodness. Have somebody? No. Just us.
Kevin's on vacation this week, so no Kevin.
Vacation. I don't remember what that's like.
I would need a vacation from his vacation. He's like hiking 12 miles a day and kayaking 8 miles a day. I'm like, Kev, I feel tired from you telling me about your vacation.
Yeah, that's not vacation. That's work. That is definitely work. Oh, man. No, vacation is a cruise. It's a beach.
Yeah.
Just floating along a lazy river. That's vacation. Right?
Okay, Devin, you're making me feel bad because I won't be getting one anytime soon.
Hey, I have not been on an actual vacation, just my wife and I, since 2011.
Wow.
So,
My last real one was 2018 because of COVID. And I usually do 2 full-blown, cut the phones off, unlog out the internet twice a year, and I have not had that.
oh yeah. I get it. But man, when pastoring and then doing real estate, every time we go somewhere, it was usually for me to visit another church. So it was a working vacation. We might have a day, right? Or we take a day trip because we homeschool. So we take a day trip and go somewhere fun, but it's also educational for the kids. And it's like, is that really a vacation?
No, and that's the boat I'm in too, because I'm a pageant mom. So my summer activities are that. And people are like, but you travel a lot. I'm like, but it's not vacation. Pageantry is work for me as the mom.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I grew up showing world champion horses too. People are like, you guys are always on vacation. Listen here, that ain't no vacation. You gotta groom them, you gotta bathe them, you gotta pick the stalls, all that. It's not vacation. It was fun, but it was not vacation. So I get it. But you know what? It's the life that we choose, right? And it's good.
Correct.
And real estate makes it possible.
Very true. Very true. Because if we weren't in real estate, we wouldn't have the flexibility or the funds.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. If I was still working back at Target, I definitely wouldn't be able to do all the stuff that I get to do now. So there we go. All right. Well, we will continue to let people in, but we are 2 minutes after. So I want to make sure that we go ahead and get started. Just Dave and I, nobody else wants to show their pretty faces. I'm not gonna look
Not
at
today.
it. I feel like there's something wrong with us, Dave. There we go. There's Priscilla. All right. Very good. We got a friend. All right, here we go. So first of all, let's start off with any wins, anything exciting going on now that we are, hey guys, we're 75% through track.
Crazy.
So what's going on in your business? Anybody? Somebody.
I love this week's topic because it was right on point about running your business like a business, because I'm actually in the space of everything's falling apart, all of the deals, all of the stress. So actually looking at numbers and realizing, in the end, as long as I'm doing the right things, it'll work out. So this was the perfect week for this lesson for what I was going through.
Oh, very good. Yeah, and that does happen, doesn't it? I mean, you have those highs where it seems like everything works and everything's a win and yay us. And then times when it doesn't, right? Uh-oh. But you just got to be consistent. That's the big thing. And again, the idea of running your business like a business, there are days when, if you've ever had other businesses, if you've ever worked in retail, for instance, there are days when you don't hardly have anybody. I mean, again, I used to be at Target. I was in management at Target. There are days when we would have the whole Target store, we'd have under 100 guests come through the doors. You think, my gosh, how do you keep your doors open, paying all your employees, all the utilities, all that stuff? Because on the weekends, like that might be a Wednesday, right? But on the weekends, you'd have 20, 30,000 people literally come through where I was in Tulsa, and you'd sell $1 million worth of stuff. It ebbs and flows. But if you don't know your numbers, if you're not tracking your progress, then you look at one day and it's good and you're like, oh yay. Or you look at one day and it's bad and you get depressed. So consistency is definitely key. Good point. Who else? Anybody got any wins? Anything going on? Anything that is happening? 75% in, you can say, man, I've been making some tweaks and making some changes, and I see how this is affecting my mentality, my leads, my referrals, my business directly, indirectly, something. Anything like that? Responses from handwritten cards. I mean, anything, guys. Come on, somebody give me something. I know you got something going on. Nobody wants to share. All right. Well, again, it's important that we continue to reflect, because here's the thing. All right. Some stats for you. We understand real estate is not just a sales job. Okay. It's a relationship business. And, some of the most successful people are very good at marketing, but they're also very good at connecting, right? They're very good at interacting with people. And we have to continue to do that. We have to continue to grow on the business side. Because sure, you work for a company, maybe it's a big box brokerage, if you want to call it that. Maybe it's boutique, whatever it might be, it's a company. But at the end of the day, you are your business. Like if you're gone, the company is still going to go on. Except maybe Dave, because it's Dave's the company. I don't know. But that's the way it works. Like I'm not to say, but if you work at Remax and you leave Remax ain't going nowhere, right? That's the way it is. But the people who come and go, who are successful consistently, are people who have the relationships, are going after the relationships, but then they're doing the stuff every day in their business to continue to grow, to track what they're doing, to be successful. It's so important. A lot of people get in and they think, well, I'm going to show houses, I'm going to write contracts. And that's great. And when you start and you only have one or two clients, you don't need the CRM, right? Does anybody remember those days? When you like, it was a post-it note, and that was everybody because that was all you knew, right? But when you start getting to the point, I remember for me as a solo agent, when I got to the point where I had 19 deals going at one time, like I couldn't do that on a sheet of paper anymore. I needed some systems in place. And that's why going through Track, talking about this concept of running your business like a business is so, so important. Maybe you're already doing that and you just need to tweak some things. But if you're not, if you're just getting going and growing, guys, I'm telling you, take the time now. Take the time now. I tell new agents all the time, they want to go out, I want to do open houses, I want to go get clients. All right, let's get the foundation established first. Right? Make sure your CRM is up and running. Make sure you know how to use your systems. Make sure you're getting your continuing education done. All right. I know a lot of agents in my market that got their license temporarily suspended in January of this year because they didn't get all their CE done or all of their, we call it post-licensing education here. I don't know if different states use it different, but you got to keep track of those things. This is all part of the business.
I have a deal going right now. We just got notification from the attorney that the co-broke, the agent on the other side, who's the broker of a big box, didn't renew her broker's license. She forgot. They ran a check and just a verification check. And they said, hey, you're not licensed, right? Oh my gosh, I forgot to renew it. So she's scrambling to put that together now so we could close on Friday under her number. So it happens.
That's a problem, right? Yeah. It is. Can mess everything up. And just because somebody forgot to pay a fee and do some paperwork, but that can keep somebody from getting into a home. And man, if you got somebody who's selling a home, buying a home, and that person is buying and you can have a whole domino effect just because I missed a simple deadline. It's not a big deal. It can be. It really, really can be. So again, important. Why is this so important though? Because here's some data for you. In the fall of just last year, 2021, okay, there were 1.4 agents for every listing in the United States. So more agents than listings. That was one of the first times since the crash that we had more agents than listings, significantly. But in March of this year, because everybody thinks, oh man, I'm going to get into real estate. I'm going to sell houses. I'm going to make money. Okay. In March of this year, there were 7 agents for every listing in the United States. Just from September, October last year to March of this year. Part of that was listing inventory went down drastically, which I think we all know and experience. But part of it is there's lots of people jumping in. The people that last are the people with the relationships and the connections and the personality to go out there and build those relationships and make those connections. And the people that are running their businesses efficiently and effectively. Now, there's always room for tweaks and growth. There are. But man, if you don't have systems in place, when the pop is done, as the market is shifting, I don't think it's crashing at all because we're still seeing year-over-year increase in sales. But what we're seeing is inventory is coming up a little bit. We have seen some buyers back down because of interest rates, right? We're seeing some leveling of pricing, but it's not a crash, at least not now. Could it be? I don't know. I don't got that crystal ball. Dave, do you have that crystal ball to know exactly what's going to happen?
It's been foggy for a couple of years now.
I mean, I don't. So I don't think that we're going to see a crash based on what's going on, but I don't know. But I do know here's what's happening. And we're seeing already a lot of people saying, well, I'm going to have to go and get a regular job. I'm going to have to go and get that other job, or I wanted to get out of my job and just go full-time in real estate. Man, I can't do that. And a lot of it is because they don't have the systems in place. And man, I sold a couple houses, but now my MLS dues are up again. I've got to continue to renew my systems. I've got to do this. I've got my marketing. I don't have enough money. I'm not making enough money. So I'm telling you, yes, we've got to sell houses, And every day we understand from, from things that we've learned here in the locker room before. Jake talks all the time about their basic things that we have to do every day. Our real estate job description, right? Every day we gotta lead generate. Every day we gotta follow up. That's important. But if you don't have the systems in place, if you don't have the stuff in place for how you're doing that, you're going to end up in trouble, and it's going to happen real quick. So just from March to the beginning of June, okay, we went from 7 agents per listing in the United States back down to 5. We went from over 2.7 million, from what the data that I've seen, agents down to 2.4 in 3 months. Now that's still a lot of agents, okay? Don't get me wrong. But to have 300,000 people just quit in 3 months is significant. So when we talk about establishing habits and establishing patterns and working on your time management and having your schedule and being focused, and when we talk about all these things in track, like, it's not just because Dave and I or Jake and Kit and Nathan Daniels and whoever it might be, we're sitting around one day and we thought, oh, this sounds like a good idea. Let's tell people to do this crap. No, it's because this is the foundation that helps you to be successful. Okay. So when we're asking you, tracking your numbers, if even if you're putting in zeros, if you don't know at this point what those look like, and if you're not seeing any change from what you're doing, then you really need to look at what you're doing. Because in this industry, we talk all the time about ROI. What's ROI? Anybody? Somebody.
Return on investment.
Return on investment, yes. And you have to consider your ROI, right? If you're going to spend money on a lead gen system, if you're going to spend money on a CRM, what's the ROI? How's it going to make my life easier? How's it going to bring me more leads? How's it going to bring me more deals? But I heard somebody say this yesterday, and this really just hit home for me. What about looking at your ROE, your return on effort? Because ROI means crap. You can have the best leads. Like, you can buy a lead system where every lead is hot and ready and they want to talk to somebody right now. But if you don't pick up the freaking phone and call them, you ain't going to close nothing. And then you're going to sit around and you're going to be like, well, this didn't work. It sucked. I spent all this money. You can get the best CRM. I mean, there are some out there that you can spend thousands of dollars a month to have, and man, you put something in and it automatically sets up campaigns and it automatically does this and it automatically does that. But there's hours of work that goes into all that setup, so it does that. And if you don't put in the effort on the front end, you're gonna be like, man, I'm spending money on the system, it doesn't work. You can have all the signage, all the support, all the social media, and say, man, I've got all of these tools available, and have nobody come to your open house because you didn't put out the signs, you didn't use the social media, you didn't do the door knocking, right? It's not just about the stuff, it's about the effort. Hello? Anybody?
Absolutely.
And again, Dave, you're a broker and you have agents that are seasoned, you have agents that are newer. Do you see that there are times when you have agents that they come in and they've got all the tools, they've got all the skills, they've got all the ability, they've got all the connection, and they're not successful?
Absolutely. It's effort. It's do the tasks, reap the rewards. You have to put effort in to get effort out, get results out. Absolutely.
Running your business like a business, but that starts with, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so when I ask that question, guys, what's been going on that's good in your business, and nobody has anything that they want to share,
not a good sign.
I mean, honestly, my first thought is, okay, then what did you do last week? Because if you didn't have anything, like you didn't talk to anybody that's potential, you didn't show anybody a house, okay, maybe you didn't sell something. I didn't have any closings last week. Okay, that's fine. But you know what? I went on 19 showings and wrote 7 offers. That's good, right? It's those kinds of things that are going to produce the results later. So when you're here, and again, I'm not your everyday coach. I'm just here to run track for you. Okay. But if you can't come into a group like this and share something that has happened, that is good in your business, then you got to take a look at what's going on in your business. And what is your ROE? Where are you putting the effort? Because if what you have been doing 75% through is not resulting in anything that you feel like you can raise your hand and say, hey, this went right this week, that's a problem.
Got to change it up.
And it makes me worry because the data is, let's see how many people we got here right now. We've got 11 participants. So the data tells us this, and again, math is math, but it tells us that 8 of you will not be here next year. That's what the data tells us.
And I know I'm going to be here.
Dave's in, I'm in, so I don't know.
Same, I'm in.
Screwed, I guess.
Do the work.
It's just but that's the thing. We're here to help you, okay? But I can't want it more for your business than you want it. Your broker can't want it more than you want it. Okay, nobody can want it more than you. Now, are there days when you're relaxed? Are there days that you take time off? Are there days you go on vacation? Are there days that things just don't work and everything sucks? And yeah, all of that's true.
And you need those days.
You
need
do.
those days.
They
make
can
you
help keep you
appreciate the
motivated.
better days even more. So
Absolutely, absolutely. But this is important that you are taking a hard look at this stage. Okay, the first 9 weeks, we've talked about buyers, we've talked about sellers, we've talked about open houses, we've talked about all this stuff that's really more, how do you do the business? How do you get, now we're talking about the stuff. The last 3 weeks are not the fun frou-frou weeks. We're talking about your mindset. We're talking about your business. This is more the detailed stuff. But I'll tell you, this is the stuff that's important because this is the stuff that causes people to be successful or not successful. It really is.
guys, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Like we do an office meeting at my office on Monday mornings. I found a little news article about a new program. I'm in Connecticut, new program they just rolled out where they're doing a first-time home buyer program again. They're giving $25,000 to $50,000 for first-time home buyers. I shared the article with our agents. Our agents took the link and put it on their social media. I had agents blowing up our group last night telling us they got buyer appointments, so many they can't handle them just from posting the link. Like, don't overcomplicate things. Like, just do something and it will result in something. Again, like Devin said, like effort in, results out. So you just have to do something to move your business forward. So
absolutely. Absolutely. For me, I reactivated my OpCity for the first time in 2 years. All right. Because I was like, yeah, I'm going to see how this is working now. And some of my other lead gen didn't work in the way I wanted. I had 9 OpCity opportunities this week. I actually was declining the last 4 because I'm like, I don't have time to talk to these people. Right? You don't have to do everything. If door knocking is not your thing, if open houses aren't your thing, if cold calling is not your thing, it doesn't matter. What is your thing? And then how are you doing it? How are you tracking it? How many of you did the agent action plan at some point already? Everybody here should be a TLR person, I think. So how many of you have done the agent action plan?
I have, and I require my agents do it.
Right. So I just took a group that I'm coaching through the agent action plan last week and this week. So this is fresh in my mind. The whole point of the agent action plan is what, Peter Gay?
To set up your business and have concrete ways that you're going to do it.
Right. And what are some of the things that you look at in that? You're talking about what are your goals, right? But then what are your values? What are your beliefs? What is your mindset? And I got some resistance on that from some of these people. They're like, this is frou-frou. This has nothing to do with sales. Guys, if you don't know what you want your business to look like, then it won't ever look like anything. Hello? You have to know, this is where I want to go. This is what I want it to be. This is what I want to accomplish. And it's not just the dollars. The dollars are part of that. The sales volume is part of that. But again, it's your business. It's not your broker's business or your brokerage's business. It's your business. So
I
where are
recently
you?
had to relook at all of mine because, things change, life changes.
Sure.
And with this going through the locker room, it made me reset everything again
Mhm.
and realize that, my focus has changed. So the business changes with it.
Mhm.
And you get a little lost in it, but it's one of those that, yeah, I've had a crazy couple of weeks, but I still got all the work in. I was surprised because I've not been in town. I missed the first 15 minutes of this because I was listening to it, but I couldn't participate because my kids are now home driving me crazy. Things change, but you still have to get the work done. And I had somebody, who came to me and they're like, I'm struggling. I don't know how are you getting your job done? And I'm like, well, prior to real estate, you used to go to work every day at 8 o'clock and you leave by 5, right? They're like, yeah. And you were required to get work done. Yeah. What's different since you went into real estate? And they stared at me and I'm like, you can still have, you may not be 8 to 5, you may be 8 to 3, and then you're working the evening with appointments, but you're still doing the same 8 to 5 hours.
Mhm.
Why aren't you making yourself do the phone calls? Why are you getting yourself self-distracted? And they're like, oh, I totally forgot about that. And it's trying to help people remember that, now we're our own boss. And you're right. We've got to come up with the plan. When you work for a company, you show up every day, you do your time card, they tell you what you need to do and you do it. Well, now we're our own bosses.
Mhm.
You got to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And having the tools in place, getting the systems in place, you need it because there's one day that you're going to be busy and you're going to need every single tool working as efficiently as it can so you can survive it.
Absolutely.
And if it's not working, take the downtime. If you're having a downtime right now, like I've got several buyers, they've all put a stop on things because it's just getting tough. Well, okay, fine. Let me get that certification I was looking at because guess what? It just went 20% off.
Mhm.
Use the time wisely to help build the business.
Totally. I couldn't say it any better. That's exactly right. There's always a lot to do in this business, right? But there are priorities. And again, go back to what is our job every day? It's lead gen and follow up first and foremost. Writing contracts, doing showings. That's not something that we can just put off for another time. But if you don't have that going on right now, that's okay. It's not a reason to beat yourself up and, oh, I'm terrible at this and I suck and I should just quit. That's not the point. The point is, if that's not where you are, I didn't have any time this last week to go and do CE and do extra training. I had 17, 19 showing. I don't even remember how many it was. I'm writing 7 offers. Like I was up until midnight writing an offer after showing 9 houses from 6 to 9:30 p.m. last night because I was in coaching all day yesterday, right? That's the way it is. But then after this call today, I'm going to be off with my kids. So sure, I worked a 20-hour day yesterday between coaching and real estate. But today I'm only working like 3-4 hours until tonight when I've got appointments and I got stuff I got to go back to do. That's the way this is. And I'm not talking about the hours. I'm talking about what are you doing with those hours? So important. And you have to pay attention to that. Because again, otherwise you're going to look back at this time and you're going to say, well, what did Track do for me? What did this system do for me? What did this lead gen source do for me? It didn't do anything. It's not the system. If any of you were on last Tuesday's call, which again, be on this Tuesday's call, she's talking about doing annual reviews. Brenda is for real estate. Great. And again, we're going to announce the next $250 winner for the TLR challenge. Make sure you're entering that. But last Tuesday's call, when I was talking about leads, I said, guys, most of the time you get the Mickey Mouses in your lead gen, but most of the time it's not the leads, it's the follow-up. It's the same thing in every area of our business in real estate. ROI is directly connected to your ROE, your return on effort. So with that in mind, let me ask you this now, 75% through, and I hope some of y'all talk to me. What is your biggest challenge at the moment?
I'll go. For me, my biggest challenge is finding qualified buyers. I have all these people who want to buy and they're just not able to. They're having to rent for another year and then they're like, I want to use you next year to buy. I'm referring them to very qualified lenders who are trying to help them, work to get qualified for next year. But it's just challenging. I mean, I can't make the numbers work for them.
Absolutely. And that's exactly right. I mean, you can't, if they've got a 580 credit score, there's nothing you can do about that in this market for sure. So, what system do you have in place to make sure that you're staying in touch with them so you don't lose them over the next year?
I do have a great system in place to follow up with them. And I'm just like establishing a really good relationship by helping them find the rentals and letting them know, I have your back, staying top of mind. And it is helping out because I did have one person who I was helping find a rental. She gave me a shout out on Facebook. It was someone else looking for a rental. And I'm not trying to be like the rental queen or anything, but she did say, like Melissa Cook's a great realtor, like contact her for this and that. And I mean, any good feedback is good feedback. All of her friends and all of the people she referred me to will see that, and maybe one of them will be ready to buy this year.
Mhm. Absolutely. And again, you want business in the future too.
Right.
So, it's good that you have these people, but that doesn't help you right now. I understand that.
Right. And then I had a buyer's consultation this week, and these people are renters that I helped out, and we set up a plan for next year. They're going to be ready to start looking in January. They're getting pre-approved for that. So it is helping out things in the future, but I'm like, what can I do to help myself right now as well?
Sure. How many lead gen sources are you using right now to bring in potential leads and potential clients?
Right now, I'm just using my personal sphere of influence, as well as I have one other like lead gen system that I use, but I haven't paid for any others.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? You don't necessarily need to. Look in the Facebook group this last week. I shared a post with, I think there's like 12 different, they're referral-based sources. Again, the OpCity, the Ojo Labs types of things that, you have to pay a referral fee if you close them, but you don't spend any money to get them.
I remember you talking about that. Yes, I do need to look into that.
Yeah. So if that's what you're doing right now, again, keep working your sphere. Obviously, you want to work your sphere. All right. I'm the lead gen person, and I still, you got to work your sphere. But what else can you add? If your sphere is producing these longer term rental leads, that's great for 6 months from now or next year. But what can you do that's more immediate? Add sources, add streams, and you don't have to go out and pay for it. You can, believe me, you can, but you don't have to. But find streams for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And those are great because, again, like OpCity, Ojo, Fast Expert are the top three that I can think of offhand. Cashified. The whole point of all of those, and I'm not trying to endorse any system, by the way, but these are ones that I use. The whole point of those is you can like be sitting at your desk and the lead notification comes to you. So you're not even spending the time trying to find them. You have to claim it, you have to get it, and then you have to contact them. But it's the lead is coming to you. So look for ways that you can add those kinds of streams while you're in this moment now. Because the nice thing is you can turn them off or you can ignore them later on when all these other people come back and you're busy again with your sphere. Right? They're meant to be supplemental. So that would be one thing. Keep doing that and make sure you've got your follow-up in place. That's critical. Because you don't want to find out that you talked with 6 people. Oh yeah, we're going to buy next January, and come next January, they're all already under contract with somebody else, right? And that happens if we don't have the follow-up in place. But look for those other streams.
The other two things that I'm trying to do, and then I'll let someone else talk. I am working with a lender. We're going to try to set up like a first-time home buyer event, where they can kind of, come learn about what a realtor does, what a lender does, ask specific questions. And then I'm trying to market 2 different neighborhoods, the neighborhood I currently live in and the neighborhood I used to live in. So sending out, flyers and all that stuff.
Fantastic. Who's done first-time homebuyer events? A class, a seminar, anything like that? Yeah. What have you done that's made those successful in the past?
I think having them or I do themed. I love party planning. So themed, I do evenings because like happy hours, the fun things are popular here. So I like Tuesdays because most people don't have plans on Tuesdays. It's like Taco Tuesday. So one of the themes that is always a hit is margaritas and tacos. My lender partner brings the food, my title company provides the space, and we actually post up on like Eventbrite, and we get a lot of new people to also attend. You know, didn't do it as much because of COVID, but I plan on doing that again.
I would show up for Taco
that.
Tuesday with margaritas.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, totally. I mean, who wouldn't show up for margaritas and tacos? Forget what the content is. I don't even care. I'm there. So yeah, absolutely. I would also suggest, have an online option. So if somebody can't make it in person, whether it's recorded or whether you stream it, most of your title companies, your lenders, they're going to have that technology available anyway. Obviously, you want people there in person, but if you have that as an option, there may be some people that they are working or the kid's sick and they can't come or something like that you can connect to and follow up. But yeah, fantastic. What else? Who else has got a challenge right now? To like, here's where I am. What do I do?
Okay, I'm gonna share, and I don't know if it's relevant or not. I might just be griping. The interest rates are killing me. And the reason I say that is it's causing my buyers to be priced out. And then at the same, and it gets worse if they're under contract and didn't lock their rates. And then at the same time, I have a new listing. It's at the higher price point. Usually I post the homes on Thursdays because most people are looking to view homes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I usually have a ton of showings. I haven't gotten any showings for that particular property. It's a gorgeous home, professional pictures done, all of those things. So I'm now in my own head, like, what did I do wrong? So I guess I need some mental toughness right now. I don't know.
Well, again, we know the market is transitioning. So that happens a little bit, especially when you're in higher price points, because there's not as many people looking at those to begin with. But somebody else weigh in here. Dave, I'd love for you to weigh in as well, because you're a broker too.
It's a challenge, and you got to just fight through it. It's a battle on a daily basis, right?
That is not the easy answer we wanted.
But it's true though. It's true, because that's what I'm trying to tell myself, because that's what I would tell my own agent, but it's hard to believe the words sometimes.
It always ends up working itself out, and it always ends up evening itself out. It's just a consistency. Consistency wins. So if you're consistent, you will win. So you just have to stay the course and just keep plugging along with it. It's people are always going to buy and sell houses regardless of what interest rates are and what happens with the market. You look back in the 80s, before I was a broker, the interest rates were credit card level and people still bought houses. People need housing. So there's always going to be a need. Just stay relevant, stay up on what's going on, and be the professional, and you will always win. So
Dave, I'll second that, because I do a ton of networking and with other agents, and other people walked up that are in the real estate industry, and they walked up to a few of the people that were near me, and they were like, "Hey, how's the real estate market?" And their first reaction is, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh, don't do that."
Yeah.
Because guess what, guys? They already know it's like that.
Right.
Put some positive spins to it and just say, "Hey, it is."
That's one thing we started doing in our office back in January, is watching the words we use. So your first instinct is, how is the market? It's crazy. It's bananas. Who wants to buy or sell when the first word you say is crazy or bananas? So
Exactly.
It's opportunistic. It's a great opportunity. It has a lot of positives. You just have to watch what you say, because it sets the mindset for your buyer and seller. And one thing that we talked about this week was, obviously, I think it's going to be a shifting market. I don't think, like Devin said too, crystal ball is a little foggy, and I don't think there's going to be a crash, but it's going to shift. And one of the great things about a market shift is that stat that Devin opened the day with, 87%. It's going to weed out a lot of the people that shouldn't be in the business, and it's going to be more opportunistic for all the people that are on this call that are investing in their business and investing time and investing in their skill set. You need to be skilled to stay in this business for longevity. And as long as you're always learning and always improving, you're long for real estate. So
That's exactly right. And again, it doesn't matter what the market is. The market's always great for somebody,
you're right.
right? So, I mean, even if there is a market downturn, like really, really bad, what's that going to bring out? That's going to bring out all the investors, right? Wanting to scoop up those properties. Go back to the flipping, go back to grabbing the rentals, the buy and holds, whatever it might be. So you always have to work on mindset first. And again, pastor, I'm all about mindset and words, mindset and words. Your life moves in the direction of your dominant thoughts. It really is true. So if every day you're waking up and you're like, man, the market is crazy and this is hard, guess what you're going to experience all day? It's going to be crazy and hard. But if you wake up with the mindset of, man, the market is opportunistic, the market is great, I've got to find those opportunities that are mine. There are people that I'm meant to help. MLD talks about that all the time. You don't have to help everybody. Find the people you're meant to help. If that's your mindset, when we talk about having our affirmations as real estate agents, I went through Ninja. If anybody else has ever gone through Ninja or a similar program, affirmations are important too. And I think that's part of running your business like a business is you have to, if I can be a little preachy for 5 seconds, you have to speak into existence what you want it to be. You do. And if what you're saying is, man, this is hard and this sucks, then that's what you're going to experience because that's how you're feeling. And I mean, I can give you science that backs that when you are talking negatively, it changes what's going on in your body. It changes the chemicals that are released, and it's going to change the way you see everything. Everything becomes a problem. But if you're saying there's opportunity, if you're saying it's still strong, and it is, the market may be shifting, but it's still strong. That just means we have to make adjustments. Right? What in life doesn't require adjustments? I mean, even your car can be an excellent, high performance, expensive car. You still have to get the alignment done. You still have to get the oil change. Occasionally, you still got to replace the belts and hoses. Yes. Everything in life is like that. You can be healthy, but if you don't continue to exercise and drink water and eat right, then guess what? You're not going to be healthy a year from now or 5 years from now. So it's all about the consistency and how you see it. But the flip side is true, is the same as well. If you're not healthy, if you're not in a good place, and all you look at is, it's hard, I can't do it. Those are not the people that get off the couch and end up becoming marathon runners. Those are the people that end up dying young. And the same thing is true in real estate. The agents that are looking right now, I mean, I love everybody and I want everybody to succeed, but there are some people I'm like, I'm glad I won't see you in a year or two because you are bringing the whole thing down.
That is so
want
true.
That to be the case. I don't want that to be the case for you guys. I don't. And I think just by the fact that you're here, you don't want it to be the case either, but everything starts with the business plan, number one. And then what are you saying? What are you doing to get there? Again, my goal from the moment I got into real estate, $300,000 a year, $100,000 to live on, $100,000 to give away, $100,000 to save. That was the goal. How I got there, I said, I don't care how I get there. I just want to get there. But once I started doing it, I was like, okay, I can do this the easy way or I can do this the hard way. I can run myself ragged and sell 60, 70 houses a year to investors, or I can go after higher priced homes. Well, the first 2 years, I was like, I just want to get there. So I was all over the map. Selling $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 homes. You can do that, but it's a lot more work. How many of you know it's the same amount of work to sell $1 million home as it is to sell a $60,000 home? Well, after about 2 years of not seeing my family because I'm pastoring and doing real estate, my broker sat me down and says, Devin, you can do this, but why are you doing it this way? Well, I don't care how I get there, but there's a better way. And we started looking at that, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, you're telling me I can be home at night? I didn't know that. So guess what I started doing? I started focusing on, okay, how am I going to get there now is important. But the planning is important. I had to change some systems. Then I had to change my mindset and I had to change what I was saying. I don't just want any business. I want the right business. Yes. So it's all about that mindset. TJ, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same situation now where I'm looking for the right business. I'm getting a lot of business from a lot of renters. I got a listing in Middle River, Baltimore, and it's getting me a lot of Section 8 clients and renters that way. And I'm trying to convert them to, see if they can maybe buy. Or I ran into a lady who helps change rental vouchers into ones that they can purchase. But I'm kind of getting overwhelmed because I'm getting a lot of Section 8 clients, and I guess I can refer them out, but I'm always trying to, support them and see what I can do to help them. So it's kind of getting overwhelming at times.
I totally get that. I was right there. My first time home buyer seminar that I did, I brought in, I think it was 38 people that were all lower credit Section 8 people, but they all wanted to buy homes. And I thought, man, this is great. I'm going to help them all. I'm going to change the world.
Right.
6 months later, you know how many of those people had done the work, even though I'm spending time, like I'm doing weekly meetings with them to talk about what they need to do. I've connected them with a credit specialist, all this stuff. You know how many of them were ready to buy a house?
But maybe zero. Yeah.
Right. 2 years later, I can tell you for sure, one person out of that group did the work. So here's the thing. Can I help anybody? Yes, I can. But here's the reality. I'm not going to discriminate on who I help, but I don't want to help everybody.
Oh.
I want to help people that are serious. And again, that's that consultation. So, I mean, having the conversation with them of, okay, what is it you want? I want to buy a house, but my credit sucks and I'm, living in government assisted housing. Okay, what are you going to do about that? Are you willing to get a different job? Or are you willing to get a job in some cases? Right. And if the answer is no, then you know what, baby, I love you, but I can't help you. Because if you're not going to change your life, you're not going to change your situation. And I am here to help people make their housing dreams come true, make a difference. But I can't do that for people that don't want it more than I did. It's the same thing that I was saying for you guys. I can't want it for your business more than you do. You can't want it more than your potential clients. So it's fine to have that conversation. But if they're not serious, don't waste your time.
Okay.
And that's okay. Because some people will take that kick in the seat and they'll go and they'll think about it and they'll stew on it and they'll turn around and come back and be like, you know what, I am committed. I'm in. Let's go. All right, ride or die. Let's get there. It's perfectly okay. And that will happen for some people, but it's not going to happen for most of them in that situation. It's not. And that's not my problem. That's theirs. So then the question is, okay, what can you do to make an adjustment? Because it sounds like you're getting the potential, but now what can you do to make an adjustment so you're getting people that are qualified? How can you do it differently? How can you attract different clientele?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm lost at. I mean, I still want to be in contact with these people because, they may know someone else who's a little more qualified. They just off a referral basis, they may send me someone else.
Maybe.
So I try to stay in contact, but
here's the thing. Remember, you are the product of the 5 people that you're the most closely associated with. Okay. So if all your people are low income, low credit, again, I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody. That's fine. That's how I grew up. You can be there. You don't have to stay there. But if you're not going after it, then you're not going to change. And so if you want to be successful in your business, what you do in your personal life is your business. But if you want to be successful in your business, you're going to need to change who you're associated with. You're going to need to change your network.
Right. So I was thinking of marketing, more higher priced properties, something in maybe the 400, 500,000 range, just to attract those type of buyers who can actually afford it.
Sure. Do you have higher income rentals in your area? Like, do you have luxury rental apartments in your area?
Yeah, actually, the rental market has increased. The rental amounts have definitely increased in this area. So,
Go find those people and talk to them about, okay, you're spending whatever it is. I got a guy right now, he's spending $2,500 a month in rent. We just
Yeah.
put an offer on a property last night, well, midnight, for a $385,000 house. His payment is going to come down
mhm,
to $1,900. Now he's putting some cash down, but 2,500, he's coming down to 1,900, buying a $385,000 house. Right? So go find those people and have those conversations with the luxury crowd. Because they're probably, if they're spending that much money, they probably got the credit, right? They got the job. They probably just don't know.
okay.
So change your sphere. Keep doing what you're doing. Just change the people you're doing it with.
Okay. I can definitely do that.
Who else has something they want to throw out? Right, there's a great quote in Track. I love this. It's one of my favorite quotes in all 12 weeks. And I don't know if it was Jake who said it or who it is, but treat your business like a business and it'll pay you like a business. Treat it like a hobby and it'll cost you like a hobby. And that's the thing. Again, we got association fees. Maybe you got desk fees or tech fees or whatever fees. You got to pay for signs and business cards and postcards and these cards. I don't know if y'all even have occupational licenses in your area. Nothing makes me madder than paying occupational licenses every year, but it seems like I'm the only person that has those. All these fees, and then everybody wants your money. They want you to buy this system, buy this program, buy this, buy this. You don't need new and shiny all the time. You take these things that we're doing in Track, you do open houses, you work your sphere, you work your social media. All right, you just do those things and then add in some other streams to supplement that, again, can be the free stuff. Go into the Facebook group, look at all those things, go and apply. You won't get into all of them, okay? Some of them have certain sales levels that you have to get into, like HomeLight. If you're not a top selling agent in your market, they ain't going to take you, okay? But start adding some of those other streams to help supplement. You can spend $0 on lead gen if you're willing to just put in the work, the effort, the equity in time and sweat, and go out there and do it. Again, I don't pay a dime for any open house I do. I do food, I do gift cards, I have flyers, right? My lender pays for all of it. And the first time I had a lender say, no, I'm not going to do it this time, I got another lender. Like, that's the way it works in my world. The only reason that I pay for lead gen is because I like the leads I'm getting. But you don't have to do that, guys. You can go out there and build your business, but you have to have the plan, you have to have the focus, and you have to treat it like a business, not a hobby. I'm not here to play in real estate. I'm here to make money. How many of you know Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks owner, Shark Tank, right? All that. He says this, he says, treat your clients like they own you, because they do. I think that's really interesting, because most of us, we got into the business for the flexibility. We got in the business to be our own boss, all that stuff. Again, you can get there. You can get to the point where you absolutely control your schedule. You absolutely control your income. You're all referral based, and you're working with people that you love them and they love you. You can get there. But you don't start there. You start by getting up every day, realizing I am unemployed. And if I don't get on the phone, if I don't get in the email, if I don't get on the text message, if I don't get on the social media, if I don't go and do the stuff, then I am putting my money out there for no reason. I am not getting to the life I want. And again, I think I said this last week, but it's so true. You need to have this visual in your mind. That's why I love the Agent Action Plan and the letters to yourself and your family, if you make it and if you don't. If you are not willing to put in the effort, put your children, put your spouse in front of you and tell them, I don't love you enough to do it. Because that's the reality. Run your business like a business or get out is really the thing. because you will kill yourself, you will kill your relationships, and you will go broke if you don't. That's the full, harsh gospel truth for you. And I know that sounds real hard, but that's because we're 75% through, and some of y'all haven't gone on a single flipping appointment that you've talked about. What are you doing? Decide. And if you're in, be in, because you can do this. We've got the systems, we've got the tools, we've got the support, you've got coaches, you've got brokers, you've got the help you need and the direction that you need. And now you've got the stuff that you need that you know you can do. But I can't do it for you. Dave can't do it for you. Jake can't do it for you. So here's my question. Who's really in?
I have to be.
Like, I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm still going to be here in 2 years. So I'm going to do what it takes. Then guys, this week, go do it and put your numbers in the tracker. If it's zero contracts accepted, that's fine. As long as you made your contacts and you were out there making your appointments and doing everything you can, the results will come. 14 years ago, my wife was morbidly obese. The doctor told you that, morbidly obese. We thought we were ready to start a family. They said, if you get pregnant, you will probably die. Your blood pressure will kill you. She said, oh my God, what are we going to do? For a few days, she moped and complained and, oh, what are we going to do? This is terrible. I can't believe I got here. Then she finally sat down and she came up with a plan. There was a system called Couch to 5K. The first day she walked for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not going to change your life. But within 45 days, she was running 5 miles. 6 months later, she was running through Cinderella's castle at Disney World in a marathon. You can get whatever you want out of this business if you take the steps. So who's in? Go do it. Go do it. And if you need help, ask. If you have questions, let us know. If you need tools, we'll help you find them, right? That's what we're here for, but you have to do it. I love you. As Jake says, love you, mean it. Go have a great week.
Have a good week, guys.
Thank you.
2 o'clock, agent training.
Thank you.